Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
The annals of history are often written by those in power, shaping narratives that either highlight or obscure particular individuals and communities. Among the many forgotten figures of history, few are as overlooked as the Black native snipers of the 1800s. These remarkable warriors, products of both African and indigenous heritage, played a pivotal role in shaping military conflicts across North America. Yet, their stories remain buried beneath layers of colonial narratives, racial biases, and systemic historical erasure. Imagine a dense forest, thick with shadows, where a lone warrior moves with silent precision. He blends seamlessly into the foliage, a rifle steadied in his grip, his keen eyes scanning the horizon for the enemy. The wind carries the scent of gunpowder and damp earth, and as the sound of a distant march reaches his ears, he steadies his breath, knowing that one well-placed shot could change the course of battle. These snipers were not just soldiers. They were masters of stealth, survival, and precision, armed with an intimate knowledge of the land and an unparalleled ability to move undetected. But who were these warriors? How did they come to exist within the fabric of 19th century warfare? To understand their legacy, we must delve into the intersection of African and indigenous histories, exploring the complex relationships between runaway slaves, freedmen, and Native American tribes. We must examine the ways in which their unique skills, honed through centuries of indigenous hunting techniques and African martial traditions, allow them to excel as sharpshooters and guerrilla fighters in some of the most pivotal conflicts of the 19th century. From the swamps of Florida during the Seminole Wars to the Great Plains of the American West, these snipers left an indelible mark on history, even as their names faded from collective memory. This article seeks to bring their stories back into the light, to honor their contributions, and to challenge the narratives that have long rendered them invisible. Through careful historical examination, we will uncover the role they played in resisting oppression, protecting their communities, and shaping the military strategies of their time. The forgotten Black native snipers of the 1800s were not just footnotes in history. They were warriors, freedom fighters, and unsung heroes whose stories deserve to be told. The story of the Black native snipers of the 1800s begins long before they took up arms in battle. Their existence was forged in the crucible of colonialism, slavery, and forced displacement, creating a unique identity that blended African and indigenous traditions. From the earliest days of European colonization, enslaved Africans sought refuge among Native American tribes, forming alliances and intermarrying with indigenous peoples. These relationships were built on shared experiences of oppression and resistance, as both groups faced the relentless expansion of European and later American settlers. Many Native American tribes, particularly those in the southeastern United States, welcomed escaped African slaves into their communities. The Seminoles of Florida were perhaps the most famous of these groups, forming a distinct Black Seminole identity that combined African cultural elements with Creek and Seminole traditions. These Black Seminoles became renowned warriors, fighting alongside their native allies in multiple conflicts against the U.S. government. Their skills in marksmanship and guerrilla warfare made them particularly formidable as snipers, using the dense Florida swamps to their advantage. But the Black native snipers were not limited to the Seminole Wars. Across the American frontier, other tribes with African-descended members also developed elite marksmen who would play key roles in various conflicts. The Cherokee, Choctaw, and Creek tribes, among others, had mixed-race warriors who fought in the Indian removal conflicts, the Civil War, and even against expansionist military campaigns in the West. These snipers, often raised with both indigenous hunting traditions and African survival techniques, became legendary for their ability to strike unseen and disappear into the wilderness. One of the most significant military conflicts involving Black native snipers was the Seminole Wars, 1816 to 1858. The U.S. government, seeking to remove Native Americans from Florida, encountered fierce resistance from the Seminoles and their Black allies. The Black Seminoles, many of whom had fled slavery, fought with a determination that was both personal and political. For them, defeat meant re-enslavement. Black native snipers played a crucial role in these wars. Unlike conventional European-style warfare, where mass troops engaged in open-field battles, the Seminole strategy relied heavily on ambushes, hit-and-run tactics, and sharpshooting from concealed positions. The dense swamps and thick forests of Florida provided perfect cover for snipers, who used their knowledge of the terrain to strike enemy forces and vanish without a trace. One particularly famous black native sniper was Abraham, a black Seminole leader who became an advisor to Chief Micanopy. Abraham was not only a brilliant strategist but also a skilled marksman, capable of executing deadly long-range shots that demoralized enemy forces. Under his leadership, black Seminole snipers carried out numerous successful ambushes, targeting high-ranking officers and key supply lines, significantly hindering U.S. military advances. As the United States descended into civil war in the 1860s, black native snipers found themselves drawn into yet another conflict. Both the Union and Confederate armies recruited Native American and African American soldiers, recognizing their value as skilled warriors. Some of the most effective snipers of the war came from these mixed-race backgrounds, their expertise in stealth and marksmanship making them invaluable assets on the battlefield. Black native snipers in the Union Army often served in regiments such as the United States Colored Troops, USCT, or within Native American units that aligned with the North. Their ability to navigate difficult terrain, set up hidden sniper nests, and execute precision shots made them particularly effective in battles fought in forests and rough landscapes. Confederate forces, on the other hand, often employed their own native allies, but black native soldiers were far less likely to fight for the South due to the Confederacy's pro-slavery stance. One notable figure was Henry Berry Lowry, a Lumbee native with African ancestry who became a legendary resistance fighter in North Carolina. Though not officially part of the Union Army, Lowry waged a guerrilla war against Confederate forces and plantation owners, using sniper tactics to eliminate threats and protect his community. His story is just one example of how black native sharpshooters played key roles in resisting oppression, both within and beyond conventional military structures. The forgotten black native snipers of the 1800s were more than just warriors. They were symbols of resilience, resistance, and survival. Through their unique blend of African and indigenous skills, they shaped the outcomes of battles and protected their people from the relentless forces of colonialism and expansionism. Their contributions, however, have been largely erased from mainstream history, lost in the shadows of more widely recognized narratives. By revisiting their stories, we honor their legacy and acknowledge the crucial roles they played in shaping the past. These men and women stood at the crossroads of two oppressed peoples, using their mastery of marksmanship and stealth to fight for their freedom and the preservation of their cultures. Their legacy lives on in the descendants of black native communities, who continue to preserve their history and traditions despite centuries of marginalization.